Hello everyone, I'm Bruffy1322 and in this special video I'm going to be showing the fastest fully upgraded cars that you can get off the street. This is a special edition spin-off video within my usual testing series to give an alternative view on some of these vehicles with different categorizations. If you want to know how all vehicles perform in a variety of different classes and formats, check the annotation on the screen or the link in the description for the full playlist of videos, and of course feel free to subscribe for future updates. So we're going to do the top 10 in this one. Obviously in the previous video we did the top 5 vehicles that money cannot buy, so you can only find them off the street. But all of the vehicles in this video you can find on the street and you can store them in your garage in GTA Online, but you can also buy them as well. So it really doesn't matter in that respect what you do. But if you want some vehicles that you can get completely free and off the street that you can store in your garage, these are the top 10 quickest. And first of those is the Dune Buggy with a 110.8. Just to point out that in 11th place we would have had the Ruiner, which was the quickest car that you can only get off the street, obviously, as we saw in the previous video. So yeah, we're pretty much starting where we left off the previous video. In 9th place we've got the Sentinel XS with a 110.7. The Sentinel XS is slightly quicker than the regular Sentinel when it is upgraded. They're both exactly the same under normal circumstances, but the XS is quicker when they're fully upgraded. So that's the one that you want. 5th best coupe in the game. It's not too bad, but it is a little bit off the pace of the top coupes. Now in 8th place we've got the Shafter. Quite a difficult one to find on the street, so it's probably easier to just buy it. But yeah, the Shafter with a 110.4 is the second best sedan in the game, but don't let that position fool you really, because the Shafter is way off the pace of the best sedan in the game, which is the Shafter V12 Armoured that should have been put in the sports class, as we've always said. The Shafter, it's 4 seconds slower than the V12 Armoured version in the sedans class, so although it is in second place, you don't really want to be using it in a race. Now in 7th place we've got the Buffalo with a 110.0, all very close lap times between these vehicles that we've seen so far, all in that 110 area. The Buffalo with a 110.0, it is only the 31st quickest sports car in the game. It's way down there in the sports class. It would actually be relatively competitive in the muscle cars class, so it should be in there really in terms of how competitive it is in the lap time that it gets. But ultimately it is in the sports class and it's pretty useless, even though you can get it off the street. Now in 6th place we've got the Dominator. Now this is probably a good option if you don't want to spend the money on the top 2 muscle cars in the game, which is the Sabre Turbo Custom and the Dominator race car, the Pisswasser Dominator. You could just go for a regular Dominator. It is still very hard to drive, but if you can drive it well, you will do reasonably well with it, and it's got a decent top speed as well. 109.8 is pretty decent. It is about 2 seconds per lap off the top 2 muscle cars, but it is the 3rd best muscle car and you can get it for free. Now the top 5, we've got the Fusillade next up. That is the 30th best sports car in the game, just ahead of the Buffalo. With a 109.6, the Fusillade is pretty far off the pace of the sports cars. You know, the vast majority of these vehicles aren't going to do anything in races in their respective classes. They're all off the pace, apart from a few that we'll see very shortly. But you know, it is nice that there are some alternatives out there that you don't have to pay for. But most of the stuff in GTA Online you can buy anyway, and that's the same with these. You know, like I said at the start, you can actually buy these. It's just that the option is there to get them from off the street if that's what you want and you don't want to spend the money on them. But ultimately then they're not at the top of their classes, apart from what we're about to see with the coupes. So the coupes pretty much dominate the top 5 here. In 4th place we've got the Jackal with a 109.4. This is the 4th best coupe in the game, and it's also 4th place in this video. The Jackal is not too bad, but it is slightly off the pace of the top 2 coupes, of which we're about to see now. So 3rd place for this video of cars that you can get from off the street is the Felon. This gets a 108.3, and it's pretty good. You know, it is the 2nd quickest coupe in the game. You could certainly do a lot worse in coupe races than having one of these, and it's a viable option if that's what you want. If you like the way that the Felon drives, it's a viable option for coupe races. However, obviously coupe races aren't necessarily the most popular race type that you're ever going to see, but yeah, the Felon is an option there, and I would say that the coupes class is one of the most competitive these days, and one of those that's changed the least from the introduction of DLC packs and things like that. So 2nd place for this video we have the best coupe in the game, which is the Zion. This gets a lap time of 1 minute 7.9, so pretty decent. You know, I mean it's certainly it would mix it in there with the middle pack of the sports class, really, with that kind of lap time. And ultimately the traction that it has makes it the best coupe in the game, and considering you can get it off the street, that's pretty good as well. You know, you can get the best coupes in the game without needing to spend any money. Obviously you need the money to upgrade them, but in terms of actually buying them, you don't need to buy them, you can just get them off the street. Now, just to point out that there are other vehicles that you can get off the street, obviously, but I'm only covering the top 10 in this list, so these are the 10 quickest. But the top vehicle in that category is the Sultan. The Sultan is the quickest vehicle that you can get off the street and store in your garage in GTA Online, and the lap time of 1 minute 7.2 that it gets, obviously it's not that quick, you know. It's only 21st best in the sports class. It's not going to do much in sports races. It's not the quickest four-door vehicle in the game anymore. It's not the quickest off-road vehicle or anything like that, but it is a decent vehicle, you know. It is four-door, it is relatively quick, it is a couple of seconds off the top, you know, sports cars and supercars and things like that, and it's a good few seconds off the pace of what is now the quickest four-door vehicle in the game. But it's not too bad, and considering you can get it for free, it's relatively cheap to upgrade. It's not a bad option, and you know, for anybody who's looking for a vehicle to start a new character, or they're brand new to the game, you could certainly do a lot worse than the Sultan. You can, you know, as I say, you can find it on the street. It is relatively rare to find. Maybe the Felon would be the best option for something that you can find off the street, because you can. It is competitive in coupe races as well, and it is four-door, but the Sultan is ultimately the quickest that you can store in your garage in GTA Online, and the quickest that you don't have to pay any money for. You can buy the Sultan now from Benny's, and just the same as all of these vehicles, you can actually buy them on the in-game websites these days, but the option is still there to get them off the street. And in a world of GTA where prices are rising and everything costs money these days, these are pretty much your only options to get something for free, in addition to the cars in the previous video. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I hope it was something that was slightly interesting, and yeah, it was a different way to look at this. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Feel free to subscribe for more if you are new, and I'll see you next time.